Call the meeting of the Fitchburg Board of Health for October 10th, 2024 to order. Welcome everyone who's participating. As usual, there are opportunities for the public to speak during Board of Health meetings. If you wish to do so, we just ask that you state your name and the community in which you live. If you're here, that you approach the center table or at least sit by a microphone so that we are able to hear you. We try to limit the amount of time for speaking to 2 minutes. And if you are speaking about a petition, order, ordinance, or resolution, if you'd give us the number to which you refer, that would be helpful. I think we do have one. The first item on the agenda has to do with a Title V local upgrade request from Jack Maloney Sr., and I believe that he is speaking remotely. We could either do that, or we have Joe Michaud from Greif, who's here in person. I might switch the order and ask Joe to speak first, and since he's here in person, and then we let you go. Is that right? I think, forgive me, but I think this is going to be kind of an update on the progress that Greif has made with regard to the odor complaints. Yeah.
Yes. Joe Michaud from Greif. Nice to see everybody. I wanted to give you an update of where we stood with the project and the initial results that we're seeing so far. We started up the sequencing batch reactors on October 3rd. That came after commissioning, making sure that the appurtenances and the valves, everything worked properly. We've been operating them as sequencing batch reactors since then, and we've seen some pretty good results. The cleanliness of the wastewater to the city's treatment works, the public treatment works, tenfold better in terms of solids and biological oxygen demand. All the markers that we measure for odor are way down, so very encouraging. We're running about 25 to 30% of the plant's waters back through this system, recycling to the mill, and every week we're going to be increasing that until we get to 75 to 100% back to the mill. So the results are very good, and we're on time and on track. We have a few small bugs to work out with equipment programming and timing and those types of things. And with any wastewater treatment plant, you gently move them along with nutrients and dissolved oxygen. It's a slower process.
Great, thank you. Any questions or comments?
No, thank you.
There was a question, if I could just, there was a question at the City Council as to whether we would provide an H2S meter to the Oak Ridge condos, and I did not agree to that. What we agreed to do was provide them to the Board of Health. Mr. Curry asked that could we take it to the site and measure it with our third-party odor response, and so we took it just as every day for twice a day just to see if it would ever pick anything up, and it did not. But we have allowed our third party to have that meter. So when there is an odor complaint, they can go to that site and measure it. Can't say whether it would measure anything or not, but it is a properly calibrated meter. And we haven't had a complaint since September 26th, which I believe was down on Layton Street, quite a ways from the mill. So I'm not entirely sure if that was connected to the mill, but we went to that site and checked it out. Couldn't really pick anything up.
Super.
So you said you're running at about 25 to 30% of the oxygen is running back to the mill now, and that it's kind of a process. You want to move that slowly. When do you think you would be at 75 to 100%?
Yeah, in 6 weeks.
About 6 weeks.
Yep.
Good. And so when you say there's been, the last complaint was September 26th, and tonight we don't have any of the residents from that area, are they happy right now? Are they feeling like this is working, or we haven't heard anything? I'm curious.
I assume no news is good news.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I came from the mill today, and I hadn't been there for some time, and to me, it smelled much, much better to my nose. Again, it's subjective. But the plant does, we're going to ramp up those flows as fast as we can. Again, the initial improvement is that you bring in fresh water because we were short of water to fill that tank up, and then it mixes within the system, but we still have to treat all those waters back to the mill, reducing the level of oxygen demand in it, improving it every week. So we'll ramp that up. To me, it's an immediate improvement, but it's going to continue over the next 4 to 6 weeks as well.
Super. Just for background, so there was sludge, we'll call it, at the bottom of these tanks, and I think at the last meeting, at least most of the sludge from the first tank had been cleared out. So I assume that got all done. Is that it?
Yes.
And then you could start using the first tank and then begin working on the second tank, cleaning out sludge and so on. Is that how?
Well, the first tank didn't have a major problem of sludge in it because it had been idled. It was empty. The tank that was operating continuously before we started this project, it's not the type of system you pull off the bottom. And so it had solids settled. Those were removed. That took quite a bit longer than we thought because it all had to come through a hole about this big through a suck truck. So that was completed. When that was completed, we could then safely go in, replace the components, and then fill, and then start running the sequencing reactors.
So as these tanks get used again, there's something been done to prevent development of sludge in the future, I guess.
In this system, you pull the sludge off the bottom of each tank continuously. And you measure the nutrients and the activity, and as the numbers go up, you pull more of the sludge off the bottom. So it's just a different style of wastewater treatment application.
And where does the sludge come from? Is that products of paper breakdown, or what does the sludge consist of?
That's a good question. It's some items that are too small to capture in our screening and on the paper machine, so very small particles, clay, ash, sand, very small items, silt, and then there are the starches from the paper making process. A lot of cardboard has starch in them, cellulose properties. Those degrade and they will reduce the oxygen in the water. So the treatment is to continuously aerate them and then let them settle and then pull that off the bottom to press it and then take it to incineration.
And then there's also, I saw mentioned biomass. Is there there are bacteria that are actually put into the water purposely to help degrade this?
No, but they're good. They're good bacteria, so you have to have the right amount of nutrients and the right amount of oxygen. Too much isn't good. Too little is not good. So, as you know. So you have to manage that with our wastewater treatment operators, and we test the waters daily for many different things, and pH and biological oxygen demand, and then we manage those chemistries to feed them and keep them healthy.
Well, I just want to thank you and congratulate you for the effort that you put in to reduce the odor. I think it means a lot to the residents of West Fitchburg that this is being dealt with, and it appears to be being dealt with successfully. So I know it's a lot of work for you and for the company to have done it, but it's much appreciated, and thanks very much. And hopefully improvement will continue to happen, and we won't have any more troubles there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, really appreciate it.
Do you have a question?
Thank you.
I just wanted to, for clarification, this process that you're using right now is a process that was in effect maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and then
Yes.
it changed over. So this is similar to that project from, say, 3 or 4 years ago,
Yes.
but improved?
That's correct. The diffusers create different size bubbles. So the diffusers have a different design to them. We also have decanters on the top that float. And so we decant the very clean water off the top We didn't have those decanters. We have a different style of mixer, and those are the main differences of the components.
Are you happy with the new plan?
I am happy for the progress that I've seen today, and it's better than I had expected at this point. So
Great.
I can expect that to continue. Again, they're not like turning on a light switch. They take time and very careful measurements. So we're moving conservatively so we don't upset the biomass and cause problems, overload it such that it would cause a problem with the water system.
Thank you.
And I'll keep you updated as progress through Mr. Curry.
Excellent. I would appreciate that. And I will prepare a response to all the folks in an email, and I will include the board as well as Mr. Michaud's present update. I think it would be great if we just keep communication lines going.
Okay. Thank you.
Get some feedback.
Super, thanks so much. Thanks for your time.
Can I ask one question, Joe? You don't want to upset the biomass, so I assume you're going to gradually, you said 6 weeks. Is there some sort of a weekly plan you're going to increase the amount, or is it?
It's based on how fast and the measurements and the numbers each day look.
Okay.
So again, it's already having a major effect because we weren't running anything back to the mill that had been treated. So it had cycled up to a level of oxygen demand and constituents that were just going to be at equilibrium. So now, even if we run 25% back to the mill, that continues to lower the constituents. That loop will continue to get better, and as it does, we can run more and more flow. It's to our advantage.
Right.
The waters that we're cleaning up that are going to the city have much, much less total solids and oxygen demand. Those two things, of course, the East plant has to treat, and it comes at a cost. So we're encouraged to run as much through the system as we can. It's good for costs, it's good for odor, it's good for the way the paper machine runs as well.
I guess the reason why I asked the question is because I really didn't want to measure additional flow by the complaints we received. So I was thinking, is it possible to provide updates, maybe every couple of weeks that flow is increased?
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, I just don't want to rely on the neighbors' noses to measure success.
Well, we've also we brought in a company to measure odor with with special equipment, and so we have those concentrations. So when we get to a certain level, we're going to go test again, and the numbers will be dramatically lower. So that's also another way to objectively measure whether or not the system is working. So we can't rely on subjectivity of people's noses to necessarily say it's better today than it is tomorrow.
Yeah, understood. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
John, good to see you.
All right, well, wonderful to have that progress being made. I think they've tried very hard to get things improved. Well, the next item, I think, on the agenda then would be Title V local upgrade requests from Jack Maloney, project manager at Dillis and Roy, regarding a well, I think, correct?
This is a property 430 High Rock Road. It is a septic system, and
Septic system, okay.
yeah. And Mr. Maloney is seeking a 1 foot separation from the bottom of the leach field to groundwater.
Steve, if I can correct you, it's 1 foot from 5 foot to 4 foot separation.
Thank you, Jack.
No.
I was running
So
it through my head to see if I said it right.
Is there a chance I can share my screen?
Absolutely.
So so it's going from 5 feet separation to 4 foot
4 feet.
separation is the request?
Correct.
Yeah. 1 foot difference, in other words.
Maybe Dan can help with that. Should be ready to go, Jack. So you do, the board does have a copy
Right.
of the plan as well. I know it's kind of small, but should have numbered the pages.
Did we lose Jack?
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yep,
Yes,
we can hear you
yeah.
now.
Oh, sorry about that. I went through my whole presentation on mute. So if you're looking at the plan, I have 3 highlighted blue circles up near High Rock Road. Those represent the well arcs, the one in the middle for the property that we're dealing with, and the ones on either side for the abutting properties. So we are well outside of the 100-foot radius for all 3 of those wells. And again, the system is in yellow that we're proposing down at the bottom of the hill in the backyard. So the water is flowing away from those wells on the surface. So the reason is just so we don't have an enormous bump in the back. We still have a 4-foot offset from the groundwater table, just not a 5-foot offset.
What does bump in the deck mean?
Up in the backyard, so it's a raised system is what it is. So we're trying to blend that filled septic system area into the slope in the backyard.
And again, what does the topography in that area, what problem does it present to you to prevent you from having the 5-foot separation as opposed to 4? It's
just an added cost to the septic system itself. We feel that, we're well more than 100 feet, probably upwards to 130, 135 feet, and that the 5-foot offset doesn't really make a difference in regards to the distance from the water has to flow between the bottom of the leach field to the groundwater table. Again, we're still maintaining that 4-foot offset, which is a traditional Title V minimum. But we did have a perk on the left side of it that ran extremely fast at 2 minutes an inch. But we don't feel that it was representative of the entire, the 2 test holes that were done down in that area.
So essentially, the reason for the regulation for the separation is just to prevent contamination of groundwater and in turn well water. Is that the idea?
Yeah, the way Title V reads, if you have a percolation rate of 2 minutes an inch, they add an extra foot onto the offset. So you go from a 4-foot offset to a 5-foot offset. But seeing that we're downhill from where the wells are and, you know, more than 100 feet away, we have the option of asking for that 1 foot reduction to go back from 5 foot to 4 foot.
Gotcha. Well, any questions? Or, you know, it seems to me what you're asking for is reasonable. I suppose we could ask that the groundwater or well water be tested at some point, just to be certain that all is going as we expect it to. But I would make a motion then, if there are no other questions or comments, that we approve the requested reduction to 4 feet from 5 feet in the for this project.
I would second that.
I'm in
Okay,
favor.
we're all good.
Just, Steve, would you suggest that the well water be tested at some point, or do you think we don't even need to do that given the separation we have here? The distance between the leach field and
Pretty good distance.
and
there.
it's
It is
downhill.
from
Yeah.
the wells, so.
Yeah, it's downhill. Was the previous system near the same location as the? It was right there. Yeah.
No, so if you look at the plan, Steve, up near where the new 2-compartment septic tank is, there's a red square, that's the existing septic tank, which I believe it's only 1,000 gallons, and then it goes out to that red blob area. That's actually a pit. So as you can see, it's well within the 100-foot radius, so we're actually moving the septic system area outside of the well radius, so it'll end up being a better system. It'll be out of the groundwater table and designed to today's standards.
Yeah, I have no concerns that the system is contaminating the well. I mean, there are probably 8 million other contributors to the contamination, but the septic system is not one of them.
Yeah. All right, well, we won't ask for that then. So I think we already approved the motion to approve.
That was
So,
unanimous, I believe. We had
Yes.
2
Yes.
seconds.
so thanks very much.
Thank you, Mr. Maloney.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, and we'll talk to you guys later. Have a good night.
You too. Thank you.
Well, continuing onward then, I think that the rest of this will be primarily things that have been put on hold, or we'll make some announcements. Well, first of all, I think we were going to look into making amendments to our regulations for private wells. Did you want to comment on that, or?
Ah, he did make copies. Good.
Well organized.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I think you'd already sent us this anyway. I think.
Good evening, members of the board.
Hi.
Should I identify myself? Yeah, so Jean-François Leblanc, I'm a health agent here in Fitchburg, working under Steve Curry. And so we wrote these well regulations back in 2018. They were approved by the board at the time. However, there's been some events that have transpired since where the state of Massachusetts has declared PFAS a contaminant. And we felt it our responsibility to add that as a criteria for testing well water. So I'll go through the modifications that we've put forward. Everything's in yellow on those modifications. So on page 1, in the purpose of this well regulation, we wanted to add some language to encompass the commercial use of well water. And so what really happened here is that we have one company, Performance Trans, here in town that uses water that typically was from the city to fill swimming pools. And all those swimming pools, are not meant to be drinking water. Essentially, they are, by definition, the way you treat the water, it makes it somewhat drinkable. And so they decided that they were going to drill some wells to lower their costs in not using city water anymore, but using well water. Well, if you're going to put well water into a swimming pool, you want to make sure that it doesn't have any contaminants that are going to endanger people. So we wanted to make sure here that in these regulations, we can force these people to test the water before they use it. And also make sure that testing is ongoing throughout the year. So this is what we wanted to capture here with that.
What did you say the name of the company was?
Performance Transportation.
Okay. And where are their wells? They're drilling wells?
They actually already drilled their wells.
They drilled their wells?
Yep. And they're using well water to supply water for swimming pools. They deliver water to homes. Yeah.
Where are the wells?
The wells are on their property. They're located.
Benson Street, that area?
Yeah, Benson Street. That's
Right.
correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So that's this one here, page 1 and 2. So that's what that is. And if we go further on to page number 6, we wanted here to just rephrase here on number 4, rates below 4 gallons per minute. We wanted to just say that a pumping test with a volume of water below 4 gallons per minute. It just makes it more clear. We've had people asking exactly what that means, and so just rephrasing this language to make it clearer. And also, wherever we saw a Massachusetts certified laboratory, it's really a Mass DEP or EPA certified lab. We wanted to make that clear. There's no Massachusetts certified lab. It's a Mass DEP certified lab. So we wanted to modify that language as well. And on page 7 is where we incorporated the PFAS as a testing criteria. So in the well water quality test, we want these to be tested for not just your standard run-of-the-mill, iron, manganese, and pH and all that stuff, which is still mandatory, but the PFAS had to be incorporated.
Usual suspects, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's done through, again, the same laboratory would do
Yes.
that testing?
Yep. Yeah, the same labs where you
here
get
it
your
is.
water tested, they do PFAS now.
Further down, yeah.
Yep.
Can I ask another question? Do you, would a company or, say if it was a private family use, do you need permission to drill a well? Or is that something that you can
Yes.
just do because it's your property or
No, you need a well drilling permit.
a what?
A well drilling permit.
A well drilling?
Right, so the well driller would apply for a permit, and so then we would have at the end of that a report, a well drilling report, that gives us the specifics of the well, the depth, and so on, and the flow of water into it, the regeneration of the well. And we also require a water quality test. So those two elements we get back through that permit.
So the wells are there with our permit, with the city's permission, they knew that it was all happening, right? The wells that are on your property?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Just one other question. How do they measure the flow, this pumping that you had mentioned? We changed the words from rate to pumping
Right.
test. How do they measure that?
So it's a question of volume and time. So it's actually written right in here, exactly how the procedure is done.
Okay.
So you pump a certain number of gallons over a certain number of hours, and then you wait and you see how fast the regeneration of the well occurs.
Gotcha.
So you need to have a volume test. You want to make sure your well has enough water in it. So that's the volume part. And then the regeneration is how we know how much water flows back into the well. So if the regeneration is too slow, then at that point you may not have enough water to supply your family for the day, if you see what I'm saying.
Gotcha.
So,
Yep.
yep. That's how you know if you have a valid well or not. So if you drill a well that's got a flow that's too low, either you drill a second well or to add, or you just decommission the one you just drilled and you drill a new one hoping for a better flow. And they can also frack the well, where they put pressure in it to displace small sediments and hopefully allow more water to flow in. That's a common thing, even on brand-new wells that they just drilled. Sometimes they have to frack them right away.
How will this affect existing private wells? I know that I think they have to test every 10 years they test for the PFAS.
So existing private wells don't have to be tested unless there's a change of ownership in the house.
Okay.
Or if it is a rental property. We don't have many in Fitchburg that are on wells. I know of one right now, so every year they have to test the water for certain contaminants. It's already in this regulation as well.
So a private resident won't really see it.
No, not really.
It's not a perceived issue until maybe they're ready to sell their home.
Correct.
Then they could finally have.
Correct. And if treatment is necessary, then the well
Right.
quality, the well water quality test will, really tell you that you need to do something.
Okay.
So, and there's ways to get rid of PFAS, that are already existing. You don't have to go with fancy systems anyways. Reverse osmosis could be one. If I'm not mistaken, I think just a regular water softener may help as well.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Then the last modification was on page 8. There was a word that was omitted, the word dwelling. It ended at that. So I just added it back in. I'm not sure how that happened. So that's it. These are the only modifications we want to make to these regulations. We have posted these proposed regulations on the website for just over a year to get some comments from the constituency. No one came forward with anything.
So we last put these regulations in effect in 2018. Should we make a motion then today to approve the changes to the regulations? I don't see any reason why we shouldn't. Sure. So does one of you want to do that, or do you want me to?
Sure. Do we want to do these separately, or do we want to do them all as one? Which would be better, you think? I can just make a motion to accept the changes as is.
Yeah,
I would second that.
and I'm in favor of that also. Yeah, I think doing them all together is fine.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thanks for the work.
You're welcome.
Yeah, no, thanks
Thank you.
for staying on top of this. It's
Just one
changing environment for
one
sure.
question, not terribly related, but overall, when wells are drilled in Fitchburg, is Fitchburg pretty flush with water? I don't know if flush is a good word, but do we have enough?
Usually, yes. It depends where. So High Rock Road, the name itself kind of tells you what you're going to find. It's tough to get water up there.
Yeah.
It's really the only tough area. Everywhere else, it's been really a non-issue. But High Rock, oh boy. It's hit or miss over there.
Well,
Yeah.
Any street with the name Rock and Hill.
yeah. But there's not city water up there either, so they need to have,
That's right.
so that must affect property sales and so on, just ability to have water and certain,
Well, I mean, you need to have water to have a house. So, right now everybody's pretty much all set if you want, but on some drier summers, some people have had to have water delivered and poured into their wells.
well,
Yeah, I've heard of a few. So it doesn't happen all the time, but, it just depends on how deep you drill, what vein you hit, and how many people are on that vein.
Yeah.
So, it becomes a shared water if you want to look at it that way.
So is that, if somebody needs water in their well, is that something that the performance company could
Yep.
do?
Absolutely.
Interesting.
Absolutely. Another reason why we want to make sure that their water is drinkable,
Yeah.
right? So if it's city water, we know it's tested, we know it's fine. But if they're going to bring well water into a well, we want to make sure we're not going to contaminate anything.
is there any, and we keep coming up with additional questions, but is there any regulation, I read these very quickly, so I might have missed it, that anyone with a well has to have a filter of some sort, or can you drink the water right out of there?
It all depends on how clean that water is.
What you
Hence the water test that we require. So if the water test comes back with everything within the parameters that are allowed, then you don't need any filtration at all. It happens more often than you think. It's quite surprising. In other cases, it's a nightmare, and, you have to make sure that you add something to it to make sure that it's drinkable. So we had a family not too long ago, a few years ago. The well driller had not returned the well water test because he wasn't getting paid. And so in the meantime, the property owner sold the house to somebody else. That family that wasn't there was poisoning themselves with radon in their shower.
Oh, boy.
Because nobody knew. So finally, we had to intervene. We forced the water test to be submitted, at least to us, to me, and I enforced with the builder that there needed to be a water treatment in the house, and it was installed. But yeah, it became a shit show, if you see what I'm saying. Pardon my word.
We count on you guys. Thanks so much.
It happens. But mostly it's not that big of a problem.
Super.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Plus the filter systems aren't as pricey as they used to be.
No.
Or not as.
Yeah, the prices have come down.
Come down,
I'm
yeah.
sure the PFAS treatment system isn't cheap, but it's very common for iron and manganese, and if you don't remove those items,
Right.
your laundry comes out, your whites come out red, and it's not very pleasant. But, those are the common contaminants
Right.
that need filtering.
The biggest concern we have is that we are in the uranium belt, arsenic belt, and so on and so on. We're on a granite slab over here, so we have radon, uranium, and arsenic that could be present. It all depends. Some houses have it, some don't. So those are the big ones we really don't want anybody to be contaminated with. So, like Mr. Curry said, iron will just turn things red, and manganese will affect your plumbing eventually, but it won't really kill you in the concentrations that we see. The other ones probably will. So, yep.
A lot of houses with big boulders in their basement around here.
You're not kidding. I even saw a house with a well in the basement.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, a dug well in the basement. That was the water supply for the house way back in the day. They switched it to another one, but nonetheless. Yeah, fascinating stuff.
Creativity.
Right?
Great.
So one more question. Do
Yep.
people who have well water tested on their own
Yes.
without having to have it done mandatory unless the ownership changes? So if you have a well, you could ask, does the city do that testing, or do they hire somebody to come in and do that?
No, we asked the property owner to do the water test, but only at the change of ownership.
Right.
Aside from that, we really don't have any means to force people to test their water.
Okay.
They should. Every 5 years or so, it's recommended, because water in the ground can change in composition. The rocks dissolve. Other minerals can be exposed at that point, which will themselves, dissolve in the water. So every 5 years, it's recommended. This is a recommendation by the state. New Hampshire does the same thing, just a recommendation. There's no well regulations by any of the states around us. So, and neither are there in Massachusetts. These are all local regulations.
So if somebody has their own home and they just want it tested, do they call you, or do they?
Nope.
No.
No, they just call a lab, and they get a little bottle in the mail, and they
Okay.
fill it up and they mail it back, or they can just drive over if they want. So there's a lab in Leominster that's somewhat reputable anyways, but the Neshoba Valley Analytics, I think it is. Anyways, that's the better one. And, yeah, people just call them, they mail them a little sample bottle, and they collect it and mail it back. So it's usually about $250 for a water test, a comprehensive test. The PFAS is a little bit more expensive though right now, so you add another $100 on top, I'm pretty sure. But
Well, better safe than sorry, probably. Yeah.
right,
There is a bill, if I may, there is a bill in the legislature for the state to adopt regulations, and it's gaining strength. So, and DEP would be blessed with enforcing those regs. So
Okay.
I think that's something that's going to probably happen and within the next couple of years. Yeah.
so we're really proactive here is what it boils down to.
What did you say?
So we are proactive here.
Yes.
That's what it boils
Yeah.
down to, so that's a good thing.
Well, nice job changing the wording where it was needed to be changed.
Thanks.
Yeah, I noticed that word was missing after dwelling, so thank you. I feel better now. I
I know.
can sleep tonight.
I'm not sure how that happened.
Yeah. Well, a lot of work for you.
Just
Thanks.
so you know, there is a procedure before the wells can, or actually regulation can be enforced. We do have to post it in the local paper, and we have to follow DEP regulations and notify them, as well as give them a copy, just so you're aware.
So that will happen with
For
these
what?
changes.
Mass General Law makes us put the amended changes in the a local newspaper.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sean.
Keep up the good work.
Well, I think we had, maybe I shouldn't say well, also, we had another hearing request which is going to be put on hold. Probably don't really need even to mention that at this point. And then a petition with regard to our tobacco regulations. And I think we're going to table that until retail education is provided by tobacco control. I think we'll all get some additional information about this before tackling the question of our local tobacco regulations and how they relate to state regulations, which, if any, are redundant, which are different, and what might need changing. But we're going to get some additional information and education before proceeding with that. So I think that's pretty much the major agenda items, unless I'm missing something. That would take us to approval of minutes from the meetings of August 8th and of September 12th, 2024. I don't know if there are any changes or...
Good to me.
I have, I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from both of those meetings, August 8th and September 12th.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Second that motion.
I have to abstain from the August 8th.
Right.
Oh, you are, yeah,
Yeah.
fair enough, yeah.
But I in favor of the September 12th minutes.
So I think we'll approve both of those. Thank you very much. And that takes us, I think, then to announcements.
Oh. I forgot the flyers, but I'll do the best I can out of the top of my head. Next Thursday, which is October 17th, we will have our annual Health Resource Fair. That is from 4 to 7 at the Senior Center, or the new terminology is the Armory. It doesn't want to be called the Senior Center anymore. So I already made the first mistake. But at the Armory, which is on Hartwell Street in Fitchburg, from 4 to 7, there are many tables, resource tables there, various resource tables. I believe there's over 70. There will also be a walk-in flu and COVID clinic. So you can come down to the Senior Center and get your vaccinations and check out all the resources that are available in the city.
Or the Armory.
I did it again. It's a habit. The Armory. Thank you.
And with respect to the vaccinations, does one pay for that, or does one pay for that, or is it?
We would ask that you bring your insurance card, and there would be no cost.
No. Super.
Okay. Good to know.
And then, as a reminder, on October 26th, Saturday, from 9 to 11 a.m., we will have a drive-up and drop-off. We do this twice annually. All unused and unwanted medications. Folks are encouraged to check their medicine cabinets and closets and various areas where they store their medicines and make sure they properly dispose of these meds and get them into safe hands so that someone that shouldn't get them or have access to them gets them. So we will have staff right outside the legislative building, 700 Main Street. You can drop off your prescription meds. If you have concerns, you can certainly black out your names on the medication containers. We will have staff to assist if that's folks' wishes, but check your medicine cabinets and get properly dispose those medications that are unused and unwanted.
So individuals don't need to have a special container or bag, they can just black out their names if they want?
Right on the containers, yes.
Yeah.
Nothing special. We will make sure that they're properly disposed of, handled and properly disposed of. Actually, the Fitchburg Police Department assists us in the disposal, and they take them to their final destination. I believe they're incinerated at a DEA location.
Better than ending up in groundwater, which I think has been a problem.
I have a question before we close.
Sure.
You talked about we were going to hold looking at the regulations for the tobacco questions, and there was going to be maybe a training. Is that going to be done at a Board of Health meeting, or is that going to be something that's open to the public, or how is that going to, is there any thought about how we're going to get that training, or is Joan's going to be involved, I'm sure?
Yes, Jonah's already asking the retailers when the group that joined us at the last meeting, when they're available on the best time.
Okay.
We can certainly discuss if you'd like to have it as a meeting or a separate event. But as soon as I have a date and a location, which I suggest this facility.
Yeah.
So this would be open to all retailers? Or,
Yes.
Yeah, not just
Yes.
the ones who are here?
And we would make sure that all the permitted retailers are aware of the event. So once Joan gets back to me that she's touched base with all the retailers, I'll run the date by, and we can certainly discuss whether we do that as a separate event or. She hasn't gained much interest in the training.
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah, but we'll see how that goes.
So that would be to inform the retailers about what the regulations are, but I think the petition also wanted to look into redundancy
Right.
between state and local. But I think at the last meeting, we only found that there was.
I believe there's only 2 items that are
Yeah.
a little bit more strict than the state. Other than that, the state law is definitely more strict. And the fines are definitely much more strict than our local fines.
Yeah.
But the thought Joan and I had were to get this training done, hopefully before our November meeting, so that we could have trained individuals hear what her proposals to our new regulations would be. And there would be as much transparency as possible.
I think that's terrific, because many times we've heard when individuals have come in because of transgressions of the regulations, they've indicated that they haven't been well communicated with. So here's the opportunity to hear what the regulations are and to ask questions and to be informed. So I think it's a good thing to try to do.
I think the biggest problem is the retailers have been exposed to a lot of distributors that are
Counterfeit
not
stuff, yeah.
sharing legal products, and unfortunately they're putting products on the shelf, and we're all assuming that they're approved by the FDA, and that's not always the case. So now she's asking for a letter of approval, and that's basically what has caused the uproar. So we'll try to educate the best as possible and see how it goes, and discuss it at our next meeting if possible.
Yeah, our next meeting would be in November, so this wouldn't have, oh, you mean to discuss
The
the...
goal is to have the retail education and then proceed in November.
It'd be tight. Well, maybe
We
the
got a
best
few
thing-
weeks left
Yeah,
in
best
October.
thing is to wait to hear from Joan as to how successful she is touching base with everyone,
Right.
see what kind of interest there is, and then perhaps we can get together and decide on a date. It seems, well, depends on what other things are on the schedule, but it might be better to put that as a separate,
It might be.
yeah.
We agreed yesterday that that was the plan, but always subject to change, especially input from the board as well.
Well, I'd be interested in that meeting if that's, I mean, if it's going to be just retailers and Joan, that's okay too, I guess. But if it's going to be open to us, I would definitely be interested in being part of it.
Yes, I will notify you
Thank you.
of the date, not a problem.
Okay.
I owe you a few visits. I promised to send you an invitation.
Oh, great. I'll be waiting for it.
Well, unless there are any other items of business or comments or questions, we can entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
I'm in favor also. Meeting